Welcome back, everybody. It is time. MnM Gaming versus Gold2 Esports is about to begin. Thanks so much for joining us here live from very rainy Paris. It's very gemütlich, as the Germans like to say. It's very cozy. I don't know, how is it in Dutch?
Gemoedelijk of gezellig, which is, if you ask a lot of people about their favorite Dutch word, they'll say gezellig.
Why?
Because I don't know why, but...
Mine is teleurgesteld.
Teleurgesteld, yeah.
Disappointed.
Are you teleurgesteld in G2? Disappointed?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think they're disappointed. See, finally we get to take over. It's a Benelux takeover here for the crew. Anyways, welcome back to the Analyst Desk. Here's Anne and Fresh. Hello, Jack. How are you?
I have no idea.
Any crazy words from all that you'd like us to know about?
Mafting.
What?
Oh, actually, we don't have a G. It's mafting.
What is that?
That means it's really warm.
What if it's
I don't know
rainy?
Why. What?
What if it's rainy?
It's raining cats and dogs?
Nah, that's...
Yeah, you don't want to hear the Dutch thing about that.
It's probably something really creepy. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah.
Speaking of creepy, let's have a chat about G2 and what they can offer today, because last Playday, Jack,
Yep.
it looked like it was not the team that we wanted to see.
I actually had a telestrator planned for how bad G2 were.
I.e.
Milosh.
Stuck it in
but
pre-show.
I can't telestrate 7 rounds in a row. It would just be too long. I was trying to find one round where they were particularly bad, and they were bad in every single one of them. Not saying Navi didn't deserve that win, but G2 were just leaving gaping holes absolutely everywhere. And it's, I hate to say it, it's been the story of this team pretty much all stage. They beat TT9. They had a bit of a win on against Wolves with a very good map for G2. So I think take those 2 games aside, and it's been a really poor showing, and it's somewhat, every now and again, paper over the cracks, but the cracks are still there and have been there all year long.
Yep, and with that last game, what we were lacking most was communication. There are moments where Kaya could just knife someone in tillers, and just after that, someone walks down square stairs, and you're not even checking tillers. If that communication doesn't come through, it's going to be really difficult to get rounds there. And whereas with a lot of teams, we see a very clear front and a very clear backline, but G2 we don't really see it that well, but then players are not performing the way they should be, so it comes across as very unorganized.
All right, and what about MnM on the other side? Because, I mean, you heard it from BDS in the post-game interview, Anne. It seems like there's a lot of hope behind the squad.
Exactly, yeah. We've seen some decent attacks from MnM, but it really needs some more coming out from them. If you look at their attack and win rates, it is not the brightest. Nello said it in the interview as well. There's still things they need to work on. They're just not winning enough rounds or losing rounds that they really shouldn't have lost. And well, you mainly got to look at their player advantages there. Last game looked a little bit better in regards to that. They weren't throwing their player advantages as much as we have seen from them earlier, but it needs work, basically.
Yeah, I think this team, and I always say with this team, take a step back, look at the big picture of this team, and look at a year ago there where they're just prepping for UCL. And we're saying, oh my God, they should be the team that gets 4th, that gets to the major, that goes to SI, their 2nd SI in a row. But they're still learning. They're absolutely still learning. A lot of these players came into this league without any prior Tier 1 experience. I think, if anything, it was only, I want to say it was only Nello that had any prior Tier 1 experience, right? So they're learning. This isn't, you know, what we're on, game 20-something of their Tier 1 careers. Still a very new team. They've got a big opportunity to make Tier 4. Tier 4? to make 4th.
Are they moving to NAL?
To make 4th place and go to the major.
Okay, fair enough. Anyways, let's have a chat about our map for this series. Put it up on screen for you and see if we get any surprises out of this game. There it is. 8 maps out, 1 is left, and it'll be MnM that decide. They bring out Skyscraper and take us to Clubhouse, where they start off on attack. G2 opting for defense. Jack, your thoughts?
I've criticised Fabian a lot in the map ban phase, but I wonder if he's pulled a masterclass here, because MnM were long known to have 2 permabans, Bank and Clubhouse. Now, MnM have pulled Clubhouse out once, back in stage 1 when they were trying to take teams to their best map. They played against Heroic and lost.
Yeah.
Now, for G2, it also makes a lot of sense. It's a smaller map. It's more compact. You can't really do too much wrong on Clubhouse. Actually, when Hat found out the map, he said, if a team can't play Clubhouse, they're shit. So if G2 can't play Clubhouse, then, yeah, I think it's a really good map for G2.
Yeah, it's MnM's most banned map indeed. They haven't played it at all in the past 4 months. G2's played it once a stage. They had a really good defensive win rate in that game, and they won that game against TT9. My main concern is MnM starting out on the attack here. We've talked about their attacks, it needs work. If you're already going to be facing down, let's say maybe a 2-4 or a 1-5, that's a really big upwards battle. Okay,
very quickly, since our lobby is pretty much set, if we were to compare two players on these rosters, who would they be? Let's see who our analyst chose for this game. It's Solotov and Doki. And why is that the case?
I think both these players have a similar type of role. They'll lurk solo, they'll get these influential kills, and that helps their team to enable and be a potential win factor towards a round. So we'll see the stats are leaning a little bit more in the way of Solotov. He's had some really good games as of recently, where if you're on G2 and you're losing some games, it's not weird that your stats aren't as good as, for example, MnM's.
Big battle of the entry for these two as well. We know Doki to be that entry player, but I swear to whichever god you swear to, Solotov last week on the entry and the whole stage has been nothing short of incredible for MnM. He opens up so many rounds for them. If they can piggyback off the back of that with the other two on the front three working together, they just become this title force, and that's what I want to see from MnM.
Thank you guys very much. A lot of pressure on G2 to perform here today, even if the major is kind of out of sight at this point. It's MnM also that have to fight through to keep themselves in the running, especially with how things have worked out with, I guess, the other two competitors that they're going up against. We'll see what happens with Heroic later. But we toss it to our casters. We freshened up, and it's Demo and Ollie. Enjoy.
Thank you very much indeed, Milosh. We are going to be taking you through this game. Demo, we get to cast a little bit of G2. I know that's always something that you enjoy.
I hate this whole stigma that people just have about me and G2.
But you're a glory supporter though, aren't you? You always support the team that's most popular.
I mean, not always, no. Can't say that. I was one of the only ones who believed that they could make the top 4 last split. I was a believer.
Or delusional. Take your pick.
Do you want to prove that point, Ben? Who did I put to win this game?
I didn't look because I put my predictions.
Who do you think I put?
You probably put GT.
I did put GT,
Yeah.
of course I did.
Don't
be silly. Don't be silly.
Yeah. But there's nothing in it in the social vote. That was a 49 to 51.
Right. Here is the situation with G2. They are the most consistently inconsistent team I think I've ever witnessed in a year.
That's just words, though.
No, but that it makes sense. They are the most consistent, inconsistent team.
I've been thinking about this all day, right? Imagine if you were to make a soup.
Right, here we go.
Imagine you're going to use some real first-class ingredients. So if you were making perhaps a French and onion soup,
Okay.
you'd maybe want some really high-quality onions.
Okay.
And you'd want to treat them right. You'd want to cook them well and all this sort of stuff. Now, that could be your MnM soup, where you've got Solotov, who's probably the best player on the team. Very good on the entry. Does a really important role. However, if you were to make a soup out of the G2 players, you would have things like fillet steak, caviar, all these sort of fanciful ingredients. But together in a soup, they're not going to work very well, are they?
But they do work. People forget. This is still a side that has had back-to-back major runs. Like, and pretty much they're going to be at SI. Let's be real.
Yes.
For all accord, this team has been successful this year. They have been successful.
They have.
They have been. They've got to SI, which was their main goal for the year. Too many critics. Go and do what G2 do. Go and play the game.
11%. A regulation win would see G2 in with an 11% chance of the major. Regulation win for MnM, however, would see them in with a 71% chance. Now, I believe these were the stats as of the start of the day. So I'm not sure how and if those percentages have changed a little bit as we've seen a couple of results, but the picture will remain largely
Picture still
the same.
MnM need to win today if they want to get a chance.
Exactly.
With outsiders putting on the pressure now, they need to win today.
They really do. Well, MnM are going to be starting off on the attack here of Clubhouse. As the desk mentioned, Clubhouse isn't really a map that we see MnM play all too often.
No.
However, it's a map that G2 have somewhat favoured inside of Stage 3.
It's a map whenever things are not going wrong, or whenever things are going wrong for G2 and things aren't just the way they should be, they kind of pull back and they go straight to basics and they go to Clubhouse. We've seen that happen during Stage 2, whenever they had that bad run at the beginning. They then took Navi to Clubhouse, they won that game. Then you look at what happened to them at the start of the season. Again, a bad start against CT9. Back to Clubhouse, they won. Is this the key? Is this the medicine to get them back up and running again?
Well, we often say anyone can play Oregon, and Clubhouse is certainly thrown into that mixture as well of anyone can play Clubhouse. Tyrant going to be making an approach here through Cash. There is a roaming presence upstairs, but as you can see from those red outlines, they have dipped. They've wasted 50 seconds or so, and we see a full 4-man flurry down those main stairs to rejoin Alamau.
Yep. No surprise we see that a lot, is that you just set up upstairs, means that MnM just have to waste a bit of time to do the drone work. Utility, if they waste any, which I don't think they really have, you know, all the nades are still there, we still have flashbangs. They haven't really wasted anything, but still, this time, to do the drone work, that should help G2. You'd expect it's going to help G2 in the long run.
Absolutely. You see that drop off at around the 2-minute mark, 2 minute and 10 seconds or so. It just slow things down somewhat. Doki's actually found himself taken out there. Tyrant nicking a little opportunity there on blue stairs. Feels like he's being spotted though. Maybe Doki tried for a little bit of an ambitious swing there off the back of some information from Alamau's Valkyrie cameras. But as it stands, no one from G2 is looking to re-challenge there onto Tyrant, and probably quite rightly so. They've still got time on their side here, and MnM have still got a little bit of work to do. They're going to start by opening up that Moto hatch. We've got kitchen corridor largely ripped up as we start the dance of Excaros pellets onto that kitchen hatch. Impacts from below will be enough for a time, but not forever.
Yeah, it should be pretty clear cut, I think, for MnM now, just to carry out a very simple basement attack. Kitchen dirt probably is where they're going to try and head to. A C4 gets missed. Nobody gets killed with that, and that honestly was something I think G2 needed there, was a kill back. With losing Doki and you are at that man disadvantage, it just gives MnM an extra player to send down blue, to send down dirt, and attack from another angle.
You can see it is causing G2 some headache here because Alamau doesn't really know which way to look. Obviously, he's got Citizen helping him to look at the bottom of that Moto drop, but he also needs to be mindful of this push coming in through blue. Alamau just on the other side of the generator as Tyrant peeks his way on down. Nello's going to find himself killed. Pre-fire from Tyrant's not going to be enough. Alamau shuts him down and turns his attention now toward dirt. Did get a little spot onto somebody there, but Solotov, he's inside of the site. He hasn't got a great deal of health, and the plant is going down. Nello looking to nail it to the floor as there's no time left for anything other than to press F. The plant will go down as Alamau picks up his second before he's traded out by users at the bottom of those main stairs. Virtue cut off from the action inside of Church. Can look to rotate through now. He's got an option to make his way into sight, but MnM are still tearing through these defenders. Nello, a plant and a kill to round things out. Very convincing first round there from MnM.
Yeah, nothing really too complicated. Just simple as you like, isn't it? But that can, I think, look quite easy the way MnM have done that. It's not as easy as what you think it is.
No.
We know that basement, sometimes if one thing goes wrong for the attackers, that could be it. Thankfully for them, I think that opening challenge from Doki, if that had maybe went G2's way, we could have definitely seen a different round, but just as an attacker, if you get that first pick in the basement, you have so much time remaining, you have that extra gun, it helps out massively. You have no idea the difference that it makes.
I've said this about Tyrant since, well, at least since we saw him in Challenger League and previous to this, whenever he's been playing in National League in the UK. He is such a great space finder. You put him on that role, he was on the Nook last round, and his job is essentially Zafia's old job when Zafia used to be perma-picked. And it is to play in and around those blue stairs, play in and around Adam and look to try and pressure on that generator. Not only did he pick up the kill, but he also was manipulating the stock hatch as well. He had the nades to work with, and all of that drew Alamau's attention for so long.
Should have killed Alamau, let's be honest.
Exactly, he really should have done. However, the fact that he survived up until that point was good enough, because then you start thinking, well, who fills that gap? Do you lose users at the bottom of main and then have to rotate him around as well? One kill can sometimes be all it takes, and it's been enough here to force G2 into a site rotation. And we're actually seeing CCTV demo.
And we're also seeing double French immediately.
Yes.
The double French comes in. It makes a lot of sense for Catwalk. Catwalk is a dangerous place to play. We know how easy it is to segregate one team in towards Catwalk with everyone else in the bomb site, because obviously you have this big double wall outside that just splits the bomb sites in two, essentially. And, you know, we've seen in the past, you know, Wamai, Jaeger, Azami all being stacked up to assist anyone inside a Catwalk. With Azami being banned, there isn't really a lot of protection you can provide. What are you bringing in? Someone who can insta-heal, pick themselves up, and also less grenade damage because you have the rip plates.
A very successful breach from MnM, and it really was a team effort. With a couple of pocket EMPs thrown, as well as both an exothermic and a Selma to ensure that that wall was opened and the Bandit wasn't able to do any sort of tricking. Citizen going to be at the bottom of Cash stairs. Now, of course, we know that there's somebody playing on Catwalk, but with Doc's Stim Pistol and with Rook's armor,
No nades.
it is going to be difficult to deal with, especially
nothing.
when you ain't brought nades.
It's a tricky one. And
So heavily focused on those impacts.
Virtue on the Catwalk, this was an area that you would always see Wamai play in, Ollie, because he had the 1.5x. Wamai doesn't have anymore. So 1.5x in that position is so crucial. Doki just swinging for all he's worth. But back to the point, I mean, just this Catwalk, having a 1.5x up there, you can take the challenges, you can take the swings. And wow, when was the last time you've seen a flawless Castrum defense?
Unreal from GT.
Wow, they got around. They are buzzing about that one, Ollie.
I mean, you would be, though, wouldn't you?
God.
I think they've masterclassed it a little bit there, because we didn't really see MnM have the tools for the job.
Oh, just I just look at G2 right now, and you just, what is the mentality? Are they in the place where, you know what, let's make this 12% happen, let's make this run again?
11.
Or is it, or whatever it was, or do we just, you know, what's the idea? You know, what are they really going for? Because right now I'm kind of getting the vibes off. Remember whenever they played against W7M at Berlin? Remember whenever they got like a round, whatever it was, and Doki and Alamo just like high-fived each other as if they won the hammer?
Right.
Where it was just, oh, we don't care, because we've done what we needed to do anyway. And like I said, the overarching thing for this team is they've pretty much already got the SI. You know, you expect to see that happen.
I think that they're still just in a fact-finding stage, aren't they? You know, a new coach is always a
New
big thing
coach,
to come
new
in.
player, new
players come
IGL
in.
change as well.
Yeah. There's still a lot of growth.
It's another point I wanted to bring up is just, you know, what has that change been like for Citizen? Because obviously he's taken the mantle of saying, okay, I'm an IGL. Ben's a very smart player. Very, very clever. Reads the game exceptionally well. The main concern that I have about him is whenever he's IGLing, he then can't put 110% into his fragging capabilities, which we know he is one of the most deadliest players we've seen in EU, if not the whole world, in that department. Does that take away from him a little bit? That's the only where I have. Because that was always the question. If he is taking up that mantle of being the IGL, do other departments of his game then maybe start to drop off a little bit?
It's always going to have a slight effect, isn't it?
But I mean, he's still positive, I think, at the moment, isn't he, in terms of the KD for the stage so far? So I suppose you can say, yeah, you know, he's still doing the business, is he not?
No, I think he's -8 currently.
-8?
Yeah. To be fair, there's nobody on G2 that's positive. But I think that speaks more to the... I mean, last week's drilling of 0-7 is not going to help that,
I suppose,
is it?
yeah.
So but obviously, you know, there are some issues there to be ironed out. MnM on the flip side, they've brought a couple more nades this time. Might help them out. You can only think it was maybe a bit of a blunder last round of not really having the tools for the job.
Yeah.
We're going to be approaching this bedroom site rather slowly. Tyrant going to be maybe working in from below. He took very quick control of Strip and looked to push into showers.
Yeah,
But
just
since dipped himself back out and just looked to gather a bit more info.
Tyrant's there just to watch out that anyone from G2 might be sniffing around bar for a C4 below. And that is something that we see G2 do quite a lot for the gym bedroom, is they will start rotating players downstairs. They like to bring C4 operators for this bomb site. They have 2 at the moment. Certainly with Valkyrie on the board, you would expect to see some form of C4 from below. And even, not only just C4, just somebody downstairs and pool table to play underneath the hatch. Remember, you can still shoot somebody if they try and jump in the window.
And the ever-present threat of a little bit of a run-out through Strip as well, and maybe looking to challenge onto anyone on Jacuzzi balcony, although for the time being, there is going to be nobody there. Virtue going to be the only real off-site player here, as he's got himself into garage.
Interesting take from MnM. No real pressure towards that side of the map,
No.
just really nature below maybe, Ollie. Is that the idea? Pick them off from the site?
Could be the order of the day, and it's certainly
Oh.
going to deal with Doki. Tyrant is able to find himself one. Blur gets to trade out onto Nello, as Nello did actually flood through the breach and try and get into bathroom
Fusion
there.
bold.
User's going to be the next player to fall here as Neo tries to push his way through, but realistically, he's getting himself stuck into the bathroom here. Collects the diffuser, dips himself back out. This is good from Tyrant, top of these main stairs, is able to find one. Can he pick the second? No, dips off from the engagement, quite rightly so. Neo with the frag, that's going to be enough to get the plant down. Virtue and Citizen now going to attempt this retake. Citizen inside of logistics. Virtue, we already saw he was over toward the cash side of things, and that's going to be plant confirmed. Citizen with the hop over, looks toward those main stairs, doesn't realize that someone's peeking on it from below. And Virtue, the next to be taken on out. Tyrant swings out from the bathroom, secures the final kill.
MnM, I mean, it was a risky and bold strategy a very minimalistic take, only no pressure towards cash room. What they had, the single wall on construction opened up, and then everyone else just kind of flooded in through the main breach or main stairs primarily. And I think whenever I see Nello jump in and just immediately get killed, I was a little bit worried because then just leave Neo by himself. I'll be honest, I think it was a Blur on the Jaeger. If he was decisive enough just to push down long and challenge onto Neo there, that could have been it, because there's nobody supporting Neo. It was kind of very separated of an attack there from MnM, which is a little bit of a worry, but I think it was good from the two players up main stairs just to double push, say, we just have to go for it. We have to just swing and take these engagements. And, you know, Tyrant done well, got that first opening pick. Neo then, that was a big kill where he just slipped in towards Jim, killed the guy, I think, in construction. You know, there's some big moments there that kind of shifted it. But still, I suppose for MnM, it's a risky play style.
I think it's risky from MnM, and there's a question to be asked of G2. Why was there nobody below? Bringing the C4s, playing below is so popular. If you set up
MnM weren't allowing them though. They didn't allow them to go down there.
There's no one even on the challenge. You know, Tyrant, you're not telling me he was safe the entire time he was downstairs throwing nades vertically. Virtue set up shop over, well, and team and co set up shop over inside of Cash, and then when Cash isn't pushed and you're around the minute mark, you're thinking, well, they're probably not going to come from here. You know, we've seen them open construction wall. They don't need to really root us out of Cash. They can just catch us on the rotate now, and that's exactly what MnM were able to do. We go back down now to the basement. This was a repeat of round number 1, round where MnM were successful in not only getting the diffuser down, but they also got the opening pick as well. And that was a big part of the round and how it played. Now G2 had a bit of a roam game for around a minute, 50 seconds, but this time looks like they may think to stick around for a tad longer.
Yeah, they are. Maybe looking for a challenge this time, a little more confident in their team play.
I think they would do well to stick around for a little bit longer. Look at Alamal's position in here. He's
I like that.
maybe looking for a little bit of a flank. There's quite a few bodies around him here, though. Citizen just playing aggro at the top of those stairs.
Nobody's in sight, Ollie. They're really looking for their own game.
Very easily push the objective here, but obviously MnM are getting themselves wrapped up in clearing out these players. Looks like Citizen's going to join the party here as well as Alamal takes off Solotov. Not quite from chains, but certainly from that kitchen doorway.
And that's it, they got the kill and that's them gone. Exactly the same for G2, except they have the opening pick. I mentioned last time that MnM, they had the opening pick. It gave them a lot more options and where they can send players. Now they don't have that luxury. Now they are very headlocked into either one way, where they all push together and try and play off refrags, which isn't the greatest, where you kind of need to hit basement from multiple angles, or they are essentially relying on 1v1s, and they don't have the same trade-off that they could potentially have if they had that extra man.
What they've also lost is the sledge, so they've lost any ability to rip over.
Yeah, great point, yeah.
Tyrant is going to make his way here down, sees the back, but doesn't take the shot. He doesn't realise someone's playing in behind Generator. Tyrant, you can't lose this engagement again. Alamal is peeking him with a deagle there. Tyrant still looking to back himself out and maybe double dip at a later point, but the element of surprise is entirely gone. Kitchen hatch is going to look to be open now, but Virtue still with 2 impacts from below, although will be taken out. Neo actually picks him out there as he was attempting to impact trick. A good refrag back, and that's going to do something to alleviate some of this pressure that's going to be felt in the final 30 seconds. A double drop into Moto. Users getting himself into bother there on the Dokkaebi. He's got so much information to work with here. Tyrant maybe going to drop here inside a stock. He knows that someone's still going to be playing behind this generator. He doesn't have any nades to root him out with this time, though. Nello taking a little bit of damage here as he's got himself caught on triple wall and will be taken out through the soft. Citizen finds one. Tyrant with the drop can only pick up one. Uses inside of the side. 5 seconds left. He's got plenty of kills to find here and not many seconds to do so. Blur. He's going to be lying in wait. Shotgun at close range. Always going to be a tough one to deal with. G2 really flipped things on its head that time. I love the adaptation of sticking around for a little bit longer on that roam game.
Yeah, they got that first pick. That was the real important thing. You can see MnM, they weren't as confident in terms of where they wanted to go for. They knew they didn't have the man count to go for the kitchen dirt, which is where we seen them pressure last time. So they thought, let's just go Mo. Let's go Moto Blue. Let's try our best for that. But just too many men, too many angles to find. I think not being able to open up triple wall kind of costs you. I think if you're pushing Moto, you need triple wall opened up, don't you, realistically? Because look where Citizen was. As easy as you like, in behind that bar. Nothing really pressured him out of that position. If you want to go for that, you need triple wall open. I will say, I think the Bandit's been a bit of a headache.
It has.
It's a bit of a sleeper pick. If you look at it, Doki's played that quite religiously at the moment. And it's just stopped the Habana. It stopped Nello, obviously, on the Thermite as well. It's just just been a bit of a pain.
I think, funnily enough, it was one of the things that focused MnM into dealing with a lot of utility when they attacked this site last. However, Doki's not played it this time. Instead, he's going to be on the mirror.
Yeah.
And you can already see, look at the 6 picks coming through. We've seen a full 5, 6 pick there. Now some of the operators have remained the same. Some of them just switched back and forth between. But again, Demo, where are the grenades?
No nades.
What is going on here? The nades were the one key. They were the one piece of the puzzle that MnM needed last time in round number 2.
I'll take a Capital at this stage. I'll take anything to help with Catwalk.
Get Fresh in. Fresh likes a bit of Capital.
It's the thing. It's, okay, sure, you can go for another attack. You don't have to go Catwalk. You can easily go bedroom side. That's a possibility. MnM have not shown us last time that they wanted to go for that. They wanted to go for Catwalk, but you cannot take Catwalk if you do not have the correct utility. You are relying on gunfights at that stage. You're against a 1.5x MP5. Well, it's a difficult gun to challenge on.
Especially when you're dealing with all the health and all of the sort of counters to those nades and that pressure that we've got now for the defenders available. G2 both playing Rook and Doc here. Citizen again at the steps location, just knocking off the drones as they come through. A Lion Scan will route him for the meantime, and actually Solotov,
he's in.
Pick up an opener here. Virtue, he's coming under quite a bit of fire. He needs to be careful now from below. He's going to get double pushed here. He hasn't got a great deal of health left. Just take out the drone. Stun going to come in, full white flash. Is anyone there with the backup though? This is where a nade would be quite handy.
Where's Citizen?
Be able to rip him out, no problem. Citizen is still below, so could look to try and affect onto this, but no one from G2
Where is
looking to assist at the moment.
Oh, he's came back up the site properly. I think that call from Lion being in sight maybe spooked him a bit, Ollie, and he's decided to track back in. But, I mean, Virtue, he's doing a good job. He's slowing them down. He doesn't need to stand up. He just needs to wait. It's up to MnM to have to go for the push. And like we've mentioned, no nades. They're going to have to walk up that staircase. They're going to have to challenge him. Blur, has he been droned? Maybe. I don't know. Was that a drone from Tyrant? Was that just a hunch they had? Virtue. He tries to get back in. Citizen will get the refrag onto the man in Bane Breach. That is Diffuser cold. Ollie, can he find a second? Yes, he can. A massive kill from Citizen. Now it's into a 2 versus 2. Doki, how has he ended up there? Ollie, he needs to be careful. He is in a good position, I suppose, if he does not get droned. That's the key thing. If he gets droned, he's a dead man.
G2 really occupying some off locations here. No one, of course, knows where Doki is, and he's going to go for a slow and steady swing on round the Vector. He's going to rip apart Nello, but the trade's there. Citizen! 3 kills on the round. The Alibi, very much a trademark pick for him at this point. He covered the map well.
Mm-hmm. Was that 2v4 from those two? I think it was. I think it was a 2v4. Yeah. Roll back the years.
I mean, that's MnM's problem, isn't it? Man count advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe we're screaming out for nades.
I know.
It's ludicrous. You know, you think about the lineup that MnM brought there. They even had the Zephyr. You think about how that site used to be attacked 8, 9 months ago with Zephyr underneath, shooting off the bandit back, ripping the floor up and making it so you can't play. Sure, you got Citizen to deal with there, but it's ludicrous to me that we're not seeing nades brought for that attack.
Here's another point that we have to talk about. What's Solotov jumping in windows at 2 minutes by himself? Sure, he got a kill, but then there's the Lion gun. All that utility out the window? What was the idea? What was the communication? What went on there? Because that seems quite strange. Because realistically, for that attack, for that bomb site, we've mentioned it so many times, it is a very difficult bomb site to hold because you have these exterior walls that you can open up, you have these windows that you can open up and just shut down anything the defense try and do. You literally box them in, they cannot move. So why are you trying to rush it? Why are you jumping in windows and all that? What's going on in that regard?
Unsure. Solotov not having the best of times at the minute, 2 and 4. Mm-hmm. I'm really relying quite heavily on Tyrant and Neo's contribution.
Solotov had a blinder of a game the last Playday.
Oh dear. Oh, I thought Alamo was going to
He's looking for the impact
stick
tricks.
around for a little bit longer there, but he's going to make it more difficult to impact trick this open. Now, funnily enough, MnM didn't show any interest in this CCCV side in round number 3. They were heavily focused on a main stair and jacuzzi approach. But G2 have recognised that MnM are somewhat changing things up a little bit. And they've gone, well, you know what, we're just going to make it really difficult this time. And it's kind of funny that MnM are choosing to go into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're going to see an attempted clear out of Cash. One man top red, one man inside of Cash. Fairly standard from G2's perspective. Alamau, of course, can also try and deny anyone opening up that main wall. Can go with that impact trick. Tyrant trying to get these heat seekers in below. Will he catch anyone? No. 2 nades, both missed now. Ollie, but that is enough to scare away G2 from holding onto that side of the map. I'm sure G2, they're happy enough. They've wasted half the round. They've wasted some nades there as well. And more importantly, they haven't lost anyone.
Not even on that cut back to sight. Users there was trying to cut off somewhat of a cross there, but the G2 members have managed to find safe passage. Still really like for that jacuzzi wall to be opened. I'm sure that'll come in due time.
They're going to move on, though.
Minute 15 left. Neo just in drone at the minute, so I can't see how many Selmas he has left, but I'm sure he has at least one. Should be enough for a line of sight, if nothing else. Users trying to play onto these windows, but no one from G2 giving themselves up right now. Still, this heavy stack up inside of construction, and you think about what you funneled in through here. You funneled in through one doorway or pushing and fighting through logistics.
I think
you need that alternate approach.
Users needs to have a good play here. I think he probably will end up jumping in through that gym window at some point, so he needs to make sure he lands his shots, because he could be the answer. You know, if he slips his way in and maybe shoot the guys in back from the back, that could work out really well for them, Ollie.
I'm not sure if he's going to find any back. Citizen, he's going to be ready and waiting inside of the corridor. We are seeing the wall open now. Doki going to find one onto Tyrant. Neo doesn't get a chance as players have since scarpered. But G2, they're knocking him down here. Virtue with the C4 from below. Citizen, another multi-kill round here. Solotov, he is the only hope here for MnM. 20 seconds and a fight up main stairs. No, thank you. One of the toughest angles in the game to challenge onto, and it was surely only a matter of time. G2 stacked up a little bit, but an impact is going to catch him in the end.
Yeah, G2 holding it firm. Nothing really bothering them there. I think G2 have really adapted well to let it go, isn't it? I think that's the way you look at some of these holds, Ollie. It's whenever it gets to a certain point, we're done. Give them it. That's us. We're moving out. We're shipping on to the next camp.
That's how you play Clubhouse. I mean, it's how you play a lot of maps in Siege, but it really is how you play Club. You know, you make a fort, make a base, go outside and have a bit of a play. Once it's home time, come home. Back to the base. Fort. You build a fort with pillows and duvet covers and blankets. Yeah, and then go out and, I don't know, kick a ball around for a bit and then come back.
Break a window or two. However, we are now in stranger territory.
How so?
G2's on the attack. They won 0 of those on Monday.
They did.
They had 6 attempts. They won 0. Keep in mind, it's not Bank. It's not as elaborate as Bank. It is Clubhouse. We mentioned basic, 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 basic. Whenever G2 are struggling with their attacks, which does happen quite a lot, they always seem to find a way back into Clubhouse, and their attacks, usually for the most part, go okay, which is a step up from non-existent. Little steps.
Well, they've not done so well too far, Demo. The drone economy leaves a little bit to be desired. Something that MnM were really good at was keeping the drones alive and ensuring that they had those drones to be able to make sure and further that roam clear that G2 were putting out there. But you can see the drones on G2's side are dwindling somewhat. Around 7 remaining at the moment, so never great to be losing them in that opening prep phase, but they should still have enough to be going on for the meantime. I'm excited to see where Alamau gets played, especially with that Ying. I quite enjoy that from Virtue. Just, yeah, you can put the breaching charge on it, but I'm going to sledge through anyway. It's a bit quicker.
Solotov ran up blue, ran into stock, actually pinged the head off Blur, and went back to site. What's happened there then?
It's just Solotov things.
And now somebody needs to go and pick up that diffuser. If anyone's going to remember to do it, I hope so. I hope somebody has the ability to realize that, hey, we maybe need that. Or if they don't, Ollie, then I do really, really worry.
I'm sure that we're not at a stage where G2 don't know what a diffuser is, Demo. I think that they're going to know where that is. I'll be honest with you.
Nobody's got it yet. Oh,
Doki's got it.
Out of everyone, he's got it.
Well, he's quick, isn't he?
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
He's going to chuck it over onto Alamau.
Has Doki ever planted before?
This is where things get worrying. Where's Alamau going to take it?
Yeah, the Ying, I mean, the Ying is still, that can change the outcome. We know how pivotal a Ying can be, especially whenever you're dealing with big areas that you need to try and cut off. You can roll those Candelas right down long, for example, Ollie, and hit somebody who can be in behind the third box, for example. That could be an option for them. Even hit somebody in AKs from the hatch. there is potential to really hit these power positions that MnM, of course, are going to be stationed in.
Of course, losing Blur so early, it did a lot to damage the hard breach. Kitchen hatch.
They lose an extra man. That's the whole point.
Well, they
This
lose
is
the
what I
extra man,
mentioned.
but they've
Yeah.
also lost the exothermics. There's only one secondary hard breach gadget available now, along with the Selmas that are now getting deployed onto the triple wall.
I like this thing.
Kitchen hatch might not actually get opened here, which again could be a little bit of a problem. You can open the triple wall up as much as you like. MnM is still going to be comfortable to play there unless you have that pressure in blue to really force these players out. Toxic Babe canister is going to come out now to stop this initial flood.
All of them.
G2 players coming on in, but Solotov gives himself away. Citizen gifted with an opportunity there. Now the push comes in down blue. There are players waiting for it though. Nello going to pick a great headshot on to Doki as the swing comes round. Unsuccessful. It's going to be a trade. That's Diffuser cold on the ground. Virtue, you got a lot of fighting to do, my friend. Neo shuts him down, making use of that mirror window right up until the death there. G2. And then they got stymied early on, Demo. That opening pick from Solotov was huge.
This opening pick for that basement is so important to keep yourself alive if you are the attacking side, because that extra man, it goes a mile. Because the likelihood of the defense giving you a kill whenever 9 times out of 10 it always ends up with some sort of turtle formation in the basement, they're not going to give you picks. They're going to be sitting in positions that you cannot kill them in.
Well, Solotov gave him one in the end. It was a very late trade from Citizen, but Citizen did manage to
poor
find the
position a
angle.
bit there from Solotov, but
It was.
Still, it's good enough for MnM. So a good first defense for them. Didn't have to do anything flashy. I think this has been the most part of Clubhouse. We're not seeing anything that's genius. That's brilliant. It's all straight to the point. Very basic. That's what Clubhouse is supposed to be all about, Ollie. We know that.
One thing that's just triggered for me there that is quite disappointing now in hindsight is that Dirt Tunnel was left soft and Nello played in the entrance to Dirt Tunnel for the majority of the round and got a couple of really key kills from there. It again furthers this. If you lose the man, you lose the ability to play all these different angles.
They didn't go kitchen dirt. Sure, dirt's soft, good enough, but that does nothing if you're not going to go for the kitchen approach, which they couldn't go for
because
they lost the thermite.
it just
Yep.
all circles back to it. I feel like the guy that's got bags under his eyes and a glass of coffee in his hand and a load of pins and string.
Come on, honey, it's time to watch G2 again. Yes, dear. That's you.
Well, we're seeing something a bit different in round 8. We've not been to bar and stage yet, Demo.
True. True.
G2 were favouring Cash and CCTV and Jim as their second and third choice sites.
Wonder if G2 were expecting this. And we're seeing the floors, which is a really good pickup if you think about the bar and stock. Whenever usually you'll find you know, a lot of utility being brought in, a little bit more extra information. Floors could be great for that. Good at getting rid of the Maestro cameras, for example. Oh, Castle Barricade X Mute Jammer combo is enough to stop the Flores drones. That is unfortunate. They need to try and get rid of those, but well, with either side not favouring Thatcher, which is a bit of a surprise, which honestly both teams, a couple of rounds there, Thatcher would have helped them out a lot. We've seen MnM struggle whenever the bandit charges were on. Equally G2, they themselves are going to be struggling with these bandit charges.
I think at least MnM brought the secondary EMP. We've not even seen that from G2.
What's G2 going for here? They're trying to walk in.
He's got himself in quite deep here. He's already just into that showers corridor.
Blur.
Got Blur with some good positioning, going to be able to open up this wall now as well, as Doki going to deploy another Flores drone.
They worry.
Probably going to try and get this Castle Barricade open, which doesn't have a mute jammer on it. We could be going for a very basic plant here, but the hatch is open.
Doesn't work
No
unless you
one's
have
cleared out
upstairs.
top floor.
Doesn't work.
Sure, you've got the Capital, but just shoot into the smoke. There's a bulletproof watching as well.
Maestros, everything.
I'm a little bit concerned here. We are going to see
They're
the smoke
smoking off the
come
vertical
through.
play.
They've smoked off the hatch. Blur is going to go for
Surely
the plant.
red pings.
There's still a default.
Surely red
There is
pings.
a default here. You
Oh,
can't
you
get away
can't
with
do
this.
that.
Nello. Oh my goodness. All he had to do was hold mouse one. Neo takes Citizen down. Alamau, find as many impactless kills as you want there, but you're not going to get the round. Solotov takes him out there from Cash Stairs. Dearie me.
You can't do that. It doesn't work. Never, ever has a team won that without going upstairs in some form. You just can't. A lot of times I've seen teams just try and do that, and every time it's failed miserably. You have to go above. You have to go above.
It seemed a bit lazy.
Attackers need to locate.
Honestly, it just seemed a little bit lazy because they had all the capability, they had all the time, they had all the tools to go above. Yet they didn't do it. Gym bedroom we go. MnM, they have drawn level. 4 rounds apiece. If anyone was sad at home seeing a scoreline of 4-2 and thinking, oh, you know, could be over in a few rounds this. Think again.
It's always going to come to the attacks. It always was going to go here. Like, just the hatch open, just Nello can drop as freely as he wants.
That Batman in
Just
it. Dropping down, the cape hits the ground, there's a big thud, the surround sound kicks in, you feel it in your chest.
your
and all
time
you've
is
got
up, Joker.
You guys Nello spraying an MP7.
It's time to go, Penguin. Do a Batman. Feels as if you could do a good one.
I always think Batman's voice never really lives up to the
Just
the
make
character.
it. Just do a deep voice. It's that easy.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
But that's the mask it. You can't let him know he's Bruce Wayne. Can't let him know that. No difference to Superman, of course. He's just the same.
A Superman's just a normal person.
He's just,
yeah.
well, he's actually not a normal
No,
person.
yeah, I don't think he's a person.
He's
at all, is he?
Kryptonian, I believe, is the correct term.
Doki on the Ash. It's going to be getting droned. Let's see what G2 try and go for this time. Hopefully something a little bit more status quo.
Well, they're going to be challenging the roam game, which is what we want to see. Disabling that top red stairs early on, it's good utility in the early portion. Now it's just all about getting in safely towards that cache. MnM, Solotov still looking for something, will be spotted out. That Gemini clone, but still wants to take his challenges. I mean, what else would you expect to see from Solotov? He's so good in these engagements with these thin angles, or he just somehow finds a way to hit something.
He's just got the confidence to peek it, hasn't he? He knows and trusts in his own ability.
And he's known for that. You don't want to peek him. If you know what Solotov, you know very rarely you want to be swinging into him.
You're going to be a little bit reluctant, aren't you? Going to be given another
This is
opportunity.
what I mean.
Yeah, he
This
takes
is the-
Doki
that's
out.
just him.
I mean, poor Doki, he's only just got off a drone. He was droning for his teammates. He was doing something in the cams, and next minute, bang, he gets taken out. Alamau does occupy the space inside of Cash, and is going to look to maybe pop a little Rotero drone out. Could look to go out and in and see if there's anything on the windows that he can deal with. Solotov, you can't get away with that. Jumps out, takes Blur down as the diffuser cold. Still got his sights trained on that construction's Cash doorway, and he's probably going to get another here. Takes out Alamau. He's got Citizen outside. Can he find it as well? Yes, he does. 4 kills and Virtue retires to the roof. He thinks, you know what? I don't want any part of this.
Is he going to give him the ace? Is Solotov going to go for said ace? No. Tyrant gets it from him. But I mean, it's just that's Solotov in a nutshell, isn't it?
What a party pooper.
He's just so good at the swings. He's hit a real good form in this stage. The best stage he's had throughout the year, I think, has been this stage specifically.
What Solotov did there is he made me want to go and play Wamai. Because I want to do that, but I know that I can't.
He's just pivoting, isn't it? Just constantly looking, switching from one to another window, to a doorway, back again. Just constantly on the move, never giving you a chance to breathe.
And G2, what did they do? Peeked it one at a time. Peeked it one at a time. Why was no one on the window at the start?
It was always going to be won and lost in the attacks for G2. It's all well and good, 4-2 in the defense. Yeah, wow, congratulations. Now it's all about the attacks. That's where it comes down to. That's where they struggled on Monday. They need something. They've called the timeout, Ollie. They've called the timeout. So, at least now they know that they'll probably be heading downstairs for a basement attack.
Yes.
So they can try and rectify the issues, which, in all honesty, it was just they gave away the first kill.
They got unfortunate in who got first killed. You can never control who you lose, and you can never control who you get. For it to be Blur on the hard breach, well, it's just tough luck, isn't it? We are going to get another little look at this ace. First kill on Doki was great.
Ace quad kill, you mean?
Oh, sorry, quad kill. Should have been an ace. Could have very easily been an ace. But I think it's just how he keeps track so well, and G2, they know where he is. Everyone on G2 that's challenging him knows his location. They've all received the call. Like, they're not communicating. They're just not peeking together.
I know. Just, I mean, you can hear the comms. It's just all of going, one dead, one more dead, one dead, one dead. That's all you'd hear.
And Nello's just sat on the side with his feet up going, yeah, just call me when you need me.
Mm-hmm.
5 seconds left.
Deary me. Well, as predicted, downstairs we go. Oh, he's going to bring the cap can this time.
Mm-hmm. See if that gets anything.
At this point, I love a cap can at a later round because it's just frustration, isn't it?
They've opened up blue hatch just by their own accord. Suppose whenever they are roaming actually towards more red-sided
Yeah.
off the map, Ollie. in towards Cash. I suppose why not? Open blue. Generally, would see teams if they're holding in towards bedroom, you'd actually open up Moto Hatch, then drop down quicker. So each to their own, I suppose. But MnM looking to take the frontal stance and denying G2 any early map control. We'll see how good G2 are with their drone work.
I think MnM are obviously feeling confident at this point, aren't they? We've got Tyrant on the Vigil, looking to waste a little bit of time, just give out that cloak scanner on the drones and just let everyone know, yep, there's a Vigil knocking around. You are going to have to try and deal with that as well. Solotov's actually rotated up to assist him here as well. There is multiple avenues that they've got to get themselves back down onto site. But they are looking to stick around just for a little bit longer than maybe G2 did on some of their roams.
I'll be honest, they could probably leave now and they'd be in a good position. Oh, but he's going to get a kill. Blur goes down once again. MnM could just take what they have now and just leave. Doki, though, will find Solotov, and I do worry, is this an overextension, Ollie? They could be losing 2 for the price of 1, and that would not help them in the long run of things now. Tyrant needs to try and find a kill back because he is on such low HP. He is going to try and retreat now alongside users, so they have traded 1 for 1, but I would say that that is still a good trade-off for MnM. They've disabled that Thermite, which was an issue we mentioned last time. Doki and Tyrant, not on the best of HP.
Look at where Neo's playing right now. Neo's crawling around inside a strip. He could have a field day if this flank pays off for him. Tyrant did a great job to get himself back down. He's on 1 HP, so whatever. Everyone's on 1 HP if you hit him in the head. He's going to take the engagement no matter what. But Neo's position in here is wonderful because he's hiding out. He's got Doki inside a bar. Doki's super low.
Here he goes.
Just keeping himself alive. He doesn't... I mean, now's probably a good time to start moving because you're at the 45 mark. He's going to know now what's going on in the site. He's right, the ripping open kitchen corridor.
I think they know. I think they know.
They've got an inkling, haven't they?
I think they know, yeah.
They've got that feeling they are being watched. Alamau just going to put a drone on it.
They know.
Blur can now sit and watch that drone. Shouldn't really get anything out of that now, MnM. Neo should just be dead.
Essentially now it's a 3v4 in sight, which is a slight issue.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Misses the Candelas. I mean, it is good enough to, I suppose, blind anyone if they're going for the impact trick. Nello will find Doki. Here comes Neo now on the flank. Will be spot out 2 from Nello inside the site. Rips 2 of them, and U1 Alamau has to drop in. Citizen finds Neo with a Claymore, but at what cost? Everyone else has died around him. Oh, MnM, they will win another round. Nello, I don't know what he did, but he must have done something big.
Well, he's done what he does best, hasn't he? He's defended the site. Nello, the anchor, the site player, picking up a couple of kills, putting MnM onto a match point here. I think even though we didn't see Neo get a kill, he still did his job. Because all that attention, we had somebody drone it, it was a distraction.
They didn't know if they wanted to commit. Do we commit? Do we leave a flank? What do we do? Do we push him? Do we kill him?
Do we just put a drone on it, or do we try and get him? You can't. You've got to do one or the other. And there was a moment there of decision, and, well, the rest is history. And we go back to what can only be described as a woeful attempt from G2 to attack into bar and stage.
It's not looking good.
MnM are going to set up exactly the same way because, hey, why not? It worked exceptionally well. There was no ability to take top floor. The old castle mute combination was enough.
It was good in those windows upstairs, wasn't it?
It was fantastic. It just neutralized the Flores. Now, okay, there's a little bit of a switch around here. We haven't got the Flores. Instead, we've got a lot of soft destruction. We've got some ranged soft destruction that isn't affected by those mute jammers necessarily, so it should be a touch easier. I imagine Neo's going to go and throw a couple of castle barricades up there. There's still going to be this presence to deal with upstairs, and G2 surely have got to deal with it. That's
what we want to see. We want to see them challenge that, because you cannot get away with attacking this bombs without the upstairs being neutralized. You don't have to fully take bedroom. I'm not saying you have to fully sweep across the top floor. All you need is to stop somebody on the hatch. That's it. That's all you need is to stop somebody playing there. Look what Nello did. Easiest 2K of the game. Just dropped in, nobody looking at him. You need to stop defenders from doing that. So thankfully, G2, look at where they're positioned. They will be looking for the neutralization of that top floor inside of Cash. A bandit trick trying to come in, but Sophiastan will stop Nello from going for that. That's good work from G2. Simple and effective. And it gets that first breach open. What I want to see from G2 now is that they have that main breach. I want to see the sledge over on those windows. Get that construction window open, Ollie. That's what we want to see. Deny the rotations from MnM. Put pressure on them. Maybe neutralize anyone who may be looking to play aggressive, perhaps, in this single wall. You know, we see that single wall be opened up a lot, and teams will maybe try and tuck their way into a corner, hide behind it, whatever they can do. Even a bandit trick, which maybe that's what Nello's looking for as well. You need that construction window open.
G2 certainly biding the time a little bit here. Virtue. He's going to rotate round and, of course, does have the ability to open up that castle barricade. Honestly, I think he's kind of worried about getting jumped out on because there's definitely a danger there.
They have an extra man to go hold it. It takes 2 seconds. All Virtue need to do is open it up so then Citizen can open up the wall. That's it. It will take you, what, 10 seconds? Even after that, 5 seconds? He'll do it via Sophia. Which, I mean, will do the same job, but again, Nello needs to be careful. Are we going for it? What are we doing? What are we waiting for?
So much deliberation time here.
Get it open. There we go.
Painful. Waiting for the right time to strike, and that time is going to be now. Doki has got himself now challenging onto the window.
Look at Nello.
Nello's gone for an aggressive play. Takes Citizen down. Doki does get the trade. It is going to allow Blur to move through. But again, damage done. 50 seconds or so left on the clock in a 4 versus 4. G2, they still haven't really got the ground they need here, Demo.
They do have construction. Nobody's going to be able to play the hatch, but there is still a shed load of utility in the actual bomb site. You still have the Maestros to go through. You still have the Bulletproof to go through. There is still issues for G2 if they try and go for the plan. I really don't know what they can do here. I think maybe, try and take the challenges upstairs? I don't know. That would be it, but it's going to be difficult, Ollie. It really is.
I think you've got to try and take the challenges, but there's still a site presence to be dealing with.
Oh, they're ignoring
Looks as though G2 are just going to ignore it, but we saw what happened last time. Doki has got such an important job here. He is tasked with making sure that no one rotates back into construction, but he could get double pushed at any moment. Looking to challenge on this way and that. He's got both the door and logistics to be dealing with. Virtue, he's going to fall to Solotov. Doki, he's going to put a couple of pre-fire shots down as the plant is attempted here. Doki gets taken down as the double push is successful. Blur is still getting that diffuser down, and it's going to put us into a 2 versus 1. Tyrant, he's got the Alder, he's got the plant location, he's got the pre-fire, but he hasn't got the finishing blow. Takes down Alamau, now locked into the 1v1 with Blur. Maybe waiting for a bit of information to be exchanged through. There's still likely some cameras up on site. Takes a couple of points of damage as he makes that drop. Can look now to try and bait out this diffuse. Blur going to aggress on through. You can only think there's information on this. Both players exchange shots. A stun thrown out from Blur as a last-ditch attempt at trying to nail this round in and keep his team in it, and he will do so. Blur redeems himself.
Whoa.
Is this what you like as a G2 fan? Do you want to be on the edge of your seat all night?
God, I hate this. I absolutely hate this. Honestly, it's just... Oh! G2 fans, how are we? How are we today? How's the blood pressure?
It's got to be pumping after that round.
Pumping in all the wrong reasons.
Still match point here for MnM. So, regardless of what happened in that previous round, there's still a chance to walk away with 3.
It's 6-5. It doesn't feel like 6-5. It feels as if MnM's been up more than what G2 have. But hey, G2, they get that round win. They get their first attack. Can they get their second? I mean, again, it's scrappy from G2. Again, it's very big 50-50. Do they challenge above? Do they risk that one man can hold, 2 of them above?
Doki was always in a losing battle, though.
I'll be honest, I think he'd done enough to get that diffuser down. Alamau was the star for me. Alamau had all to do. Alamau was the only man who was really covering Blur getting that diffuser down realistically. Alamau did very well in that occasion. And then obviously Blur holds his ball, holds his nerve. All credit to them.
And wins the 1. That's the important thing. It'd be nice to go through that on the replay and see just exactly what was left up in the side, because there has to be a Maestro camera or something still knocking around.
I'll be honest, I just think G2, or not G2, MnM, I think they just needed to retake upstairs quicker. I think that was a main issue for them, was if they were 2 seconds quicker, they could have probably killed Blur on the diffuse, no?
There was a lot of hesitation in that round from both sides.
They just needed to go for it, yeah.
Gym bedroom we go to now. G2 still fighting against that match point. Not quite going for it as clear, or as concise a clear, should I say, of that east side.
I've seen a gridlock.
Yeah, the question in the grid is a little bit. We do love a bit of gridlock.
Suppose for EMP grenade, and I mean, obviously there's other operators. Lion, for example, is open, but if Virtue wants to play it, go for it. I guess, so he's a player.
I mean, you pick whoever you want to pick.
Yeah. Just let it be known that your opinion might not be agreed with everyone else. I'd go for the Lion, but yeah, it's just me.
We'll see if the track singers get placed out anywhere. It looks as though he's throwing them here and there, so I can imagine something's going on with him. Tyrant, a little bit of an off angle. don't really expect to see a shotgun poking through a hatch, but that's exactly what he's going to give you.
It's a big risk. It could work for him, or he could just give away the kill.
Huge risk for the smoke player.
Yeah,
Given that you've got some toxic babes there that you're probably going to rely on at some point in the round.
I like the pace better from G2 this round, but again, Ollie, they've lost the opening pick.
Doki going to be falling there on the sledge. Was the only player to bring nades in this lineup as well. We are going to see the EMP used now, and a little bit of an attempted bandit trick.
Gets a wall open at least.
No dice from users though on the trick. It's now going to force him out just a little bit. It was only a couple of X-Karos pellets that got deployed there, so it's a bit of an awkward one. You can maybe peek off it, you can maybe look to make that hole a little bit bigger. We are going to see some of these track stingers get caught up in the Wamai. He's still going to detonate though, and Virtue actually hits the drop. Nello just gets caught really flat-footed there.
Yeah, Alamau is actually in a good position. They can maybe just try and jump in Jim window wall and just try and go for the plant. Alamau, is he going to be aggroed upon? He has to stay firm on that construction doorway. Smoke grenades will hit him in the face, and Alamau not in a favorable position. Blur and Virtue pick up 2 kills. There's also been a down inside of bedroom, a 1v4 all of a sudden for G2. Kills out of thin air, it appears to be Ollie. Neo, he's below, he's a Jaeger. What's he going to be doing downstairs? Has to make that long rotation up the main stairs. Somebody maybe is hunting for him. Alamau's taking a trip downstairs, and Neo will get caught out. G2. Whew. A magical attack, Ollie, because it literally appeared out of nowhere.
G2 doing a great job of keeping themselves in it there. That was very reminiscent for me of some of their attacks on Theme Park, where it was a big 3-2-1. There was a lot, you look at that in an overhead view, there's a lot of moving parts all going together at the same time. MnM forced into the tack timeout. Unfortunately for them now, there is no longer full 3 points available.
That's true. We talk about the importance of MnM in terms of their conquest of getting top 4, of Outsiders getting all 3 points today. It automatically put the pressure on them. And for them to drop points, it's not favorable. So, yeah, MnM really missing the mark here today. I mean, 2 points, again, is what they need now. They need the 2 points. If it's 1 point, Ollie, it's dire straits at that stage, because then you're relying on other teams messing up.
Yeah, so it would have been 73% for a regulation win.
Massive.
However, now the best that MnM are able to achieve is a 58% with an overtime win. But if they get an overtime loss, that drops even further to 42%.
Yeah.
G2 on the flip side, an overtime win would only give them, guess what? Guess the percent.
4.
A 4% chance. Here we are again.
Ooh. Here we go.
Overtime win.
Yeah.
Sorry, overtime loss with 0.4.
Obviously, G2 fans, 4%, yes, lucky number, all that jazz. But keep in mind that we'll go into the next Playday, and that 4%, yes, you know, G2 can go and win all their games, albeit they could go and get, 8 points out here the next 3 games, but then they still have to rely on other teams slipping up. So it's never going to be in their hands. They got very fortunate last season. I don't think Lady Luck will be as favorable to them again. Just my opinion, and that's coming from me.
A G2 fan.
You know, at the end of the day, G2, SI. Look forward to SI. That's where you're at.
Okay.
Look forward to that.
6-6 overtime. G2 start here on the attack. Does that paint a picture of what is to come, given that attacks have been where both teams have struggled here tonight? We do occasionally see things flip around, and maps that were attacker-sided or defender-sided in the regular play were flip over into the OT, but for the most part, I imagine that the troubles are going to remain the same. Doki on the nook.
This is Doki on hinge now. It feels like it, doesn't it? He just straight
loose
in. Just get down there. Get down the stairs. Look for an opening pick. Look for a kill. Just surprises MnM. Tyrant was great at doing that against them, wasn't he? Tyrant was just there. Immediately finds these kills. Who's to say Doki can't do the same?
Look at the difference in time here as well.
No roam game. It just it helps out massively. Honestly, that's why I think the defense, it's always worth a shot. You're not there to get kills. You don't have to live and die for the badge upstairs. Just enough so you can see a few drones come in. You can see them open up some of the windows upstairs, some of the walls upstairs, so you know, okay, they're looking for the hunt. Let's just leave now. Let's let them chase ghosts.
Yep. And while MnM have done a good job at taking out the drones, given that they've got rid of 3, they haven't done a great job of removing the time. Fortunately for Tyrant, he's going to be rocking Valk impacts. So maybe this was the plan all along, because he has so far removed a good deal of those X-Karos pellets. However, Blur still has 10 in pocket. That's another 5 goes, and with only 2 impacts left, you're never going to get them all, but you can do something to try and delay. What it also does is it also allows a lot of this floor to be ripped open quite early on, and Virtue's going to be getting in on the sledge and doing just exactly that. Taking care of this kitchen corridor as Doki joins in with a little bit of a... Oh, sorry, Alamau joins in with a little bit of a breaching round.
So this is pretty much, if you remember, think back to MnM, whenever they were attacking these basements where they had about a minute and a half to go, they had hatches open, soft destruction. From here on out, it should just be an easy attack. Nothing complicated, just bread and butter, get dirt open next, start pushing down dirt, get the kitchen drops going in, put a bit of pressure onto blue, get that diffuser down, and as soon as that goes down, you're usually going to win that round. Get somebody main stairs, you know, the whole, just the basic setup, you know, classic siege, classic basement.
But it always gets a little bit concerning at the 45-second mark when everyone's alive. Now, I say that, Blur's just been downed.
Oh.
Andy is going to be finished off. Solotov wastes no
There he is
time,
again.
grabs a second. Virtue, he gets himself taken out. Smoke canister now to cut off the push. Stokie makes his way down blue, finds one onto Neo. He's got a player inside of dirt to deal with, and he gets the glimpse, but looks as though Nello's going to keep him safe for the time being. Finds Solotov on the pre-fire. Dokie's not finished yet. Tyrant, he shuts Alamau down. The Citizen still working from above and can eventually connect. Doki picks up 4 on the Nook. Look at him go. Look at his face. He knows what he's got away with there.
Another clutch from those two. Roll back the years, this was the original MnM. We forget this, Ollie. It was those two in the beginning.
It really was. It is worth mentioning these two teams, these two orgs, these 10 players right here share a lot of history.
I know they do.
You know, Nello, Citizen, and Doki, that was a bit of a trio back in the day.
Doki and Citizen, wow. I mean, I know that's one thing whenever we seen Doki get added into this lineup. I know Jack was just so happy, thinking, oh, we're going to see Doki and Citizen again. Thinking the memories that they gave us, and it took them a while, but we're starting to see a bit more of a consistent factor with those two. But then again, how are we getting into those situations of they have to clutch 2v4s? What's happening in between that? You know, it's not clean. It hasn't been clean attacks from G2 tonight. We know that.
I think it was a better attack there.
It was.
Doki made it happen, though.
It looked as if it was going to be better.
Yeah.
But then Blur gets downed.
Yeah.
Solotov finds 2 easy kills.
Blur's a magnet for the opening death, isn't he?
Blur's had a very, very difficult game today. Very
Sometimes
difficult.
it just happens like that as well. It's nothing that you can do, just getting caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. Gonna see a bit of Thunderbird demo. Not seen Thunderbird for a while. Obviously the gun got changed a little bit.
She's fallen out of favour.
Especially when you've got Rook and Doc now,
I mean,
as you look towards the more health
even
based.
before those change came in, she still was not being played.
But I think the gun was changed back when the LMGs were changed, wasn't it? The spear.
Yeah, it's just, you know, the gadget is it's nice, it's good if you're an aggressive side, which I suppose G2 certainly can fit into that aggressive play style. I think it is mostly just, you know, I think missing out on like a secondary shotgun, which I think other operators that we see be chosen has been, you know, a better choice to say. I don't know, I mean, it's team preference, but I mean, she does the job. I'm not saying she's bad, she's just not picked as much because there's probably better options.
Is Citizen going to go for the swing? Yes, he is.
It was dangerous in the top right, wasn't it? Dangerous.
Oh, Citizen on the Alibi. I remember back to like Coastline games that I remember watching Citizen play on Alibi where he's just absolutely nuts.
He always strikes me as a Valkyrie fiend, though. That's what I always recognise him for.
I think when you're on a team with Alamau, though, there's going to be only... I mean, everyone on this team can play Valkyrie, though.
I mean, they're a flexible team, G2. Let's not forget
They really are.
They are a flexible team.
They really are. There's been a lot of flex on the, particularly on the attack here tonight.
I think we forget that sometimes as well. Just they can play a lot of different styles of Siege. It's just that they can't figure out which one they want to play, and that's where they're struggling with the consistency.
Oh, Alamau's hunting here. The info has come through. Yeah, the info's come through from the Yokai drone. Neo gonna get himself stunned out. Probably saved Alamau there.
That's a great
somewhat.
That's a great peek from Citizen.
Fantastic little peak there. Little bit of teamwork as well coming in from G2, just making sure and guaranteeing that they got that one. Nice refrag from Solotov.
They're
He's
in.
able to take him out. The hatch is still going to be a little bit of a concern here, though.
I mean, I'll be honest, Ollie, it looks as if MnM are just trying to, again, push into bar without taking upstairs. And it's not going to work. It does not work. The upstairs control, the diffuser is now in the sight line for Doki. MnM have just crumbled under the same way that G2 did. You have to take above, Ollie, if you want to make this work.
Alamau maybe finds himself a freebie on Solotov. Certainly hits the pre-fire. That's his third. Will he find one more and pick the quad? And the 2 points here for G2. We've got Tyrant crouch walking through, finds one, doesn't realize that one's going to be tucked in behind the doorway. Blur picks up that final kill. He's not at the best of games, but he is there when it counts. G2 flipping the script. picking up a round on the attack, taking back that lead that they had in the opening half of the game and securing themselves 2 points.
Yeah, 2 points for G2. It keeps them in it. It keeps them in it. But what a woe for MnM fans. They had an opportunity to really get themselves in the top 4 race. And now not so much, because now they're in a position where they have to rely on other fixtures. The fate is no longer really in their hands.
Well, especially with the Outsiders result from the top of the day as well. You've got to commend G2 for what they've been able to do there. And I know that we've all thrown a lot of, criticism their way. And certainly even in the cast, we were fairly critical of some of the things they were doing. I think it was quite rightly point, though, that they weren't really doing the best things all the time. MnM have got to feel robbed there today because they played some fantastic Siege.
They're 6-4 up. They were 6-4 up. That's what you have to remember. They were in the driving position. They had 2 rounds to get the 3 points, to give themselves a really good standing going into the final 2 weeks. And it's gone now. It's gone. So MnM, is that the final blow?
Well, apparently it's not just man count advantages they can throw, it's also games, unfortunately. I am sorry to all the Molotov and Marshmallow fans out there. We are going to throw it to a very short break. After that, we'll be back with our desk.